Hey everybody, this is Josh, and here we have Game 2 in a best-of-3 series being played between BratOK, he is the yellow Terran over on the left-hand spawn of Lost Temple, and his opponent today is WhiteRa, the red Protoss, on the right-hand spawn. They are at cross positions here on Lost Temple. This is Game 2 in a best-of-3 series, like I said, for the round of 16 or Octo Finals of the Team Liquid Open number 11. Also known as the TSL Qualifier number 4, the winner of this tournament will bag $100 and an automatic qualifying spot for that much larger tournament, the TSL, later this year. So it works a little bit like a poker tournament or satellite tournament where you win a small tournament and get automatically placed into a much larger tournament. And that's coincidental because PokerStrategy.com is the major sponsor for the TSL. So, back in the first game on Xel'Naga Caverns, we saw some great TVP actually out of both players. Both players were doing quite good on their macro. We saw High Templar and Ghosts. We saw a lot of dropship sort of play with Medivacs and Warp Prisms. Both players trying to attack their opponents when they were at the weakest. BratOK basically fell victim to a good timing attack from WhiteRa. WhiteRa noticed that a large contingent of Marines, Marauders, and Medivacs were sort of off on their own, playing around, hunting down pylons and things, so that's when he chose to attack with the full force of his army and just hung back and defended with his warp and cooldowns. So WhiteRa found the perfect time to attack and capitalized on it. We'll see if BratOK tries to change up his strategy a little bit to try and rectify that situation, hope that it doesn't happen again. WhiteRa, of course, hopes that it does happen again. Maybe this time he's hoping for an even faster victory. We'll see if either player changes up their strategy here in Game 2. So far, though, nothing sneaky is happening. Both players sticking to what works. Once this barracks completes, we should obviously be seeing an orbital command. That timing works out so the SCV finishes just before orbital command gets started. Obviously, an orbital command can't start morphing until that SCV gets out of there. WhiteRa, on the other hand, dropping his Cybernetics score at the very normal time. Go ahead and put up the production tab just so I don't miss anything. And we've got scouts running around in each player's base. WhiteRa here with his probe, and BratOK actually was already up in WhiteRa's base a second ago with this SCV. Actually, no, he wasn't. He's just now arriving. So WhiteRa going to be the first person to find his opponent this time around. BratOK getting a look and seeing nothing out of the ordinary. WhiteRa doesn't usually do a lot of proxy play unless it's hiding tech somewhere. This early in the game, can't really expect him to have anything crazy. But I am curious if he's going to get a robotics facility right after that cybernetics core again, or if maybe he'll go for some more gateways this time around. WhiteRa does seem to be very fond of warp prisms. Obviously, he likes to get observers if he fears that the Terran is going for cloaked banshee play, and immortals are quite good against marauders and tanks if that comes down to it. BratOK still having a look around, nothing new to be seen. Once the Stalker pops out of this gateway, this SCV will pretty much be forced to get out of here. And I apologize for the frame rate on this replay. I have no idea what the problem is. This is the first time Fraps has been misbehaving in a very long time, and I'm not sure if it has something to do with the fact that this replay is Russian. They actually played this game on the Russian server since both players do live in Ukraine. Like, the replay actually said Protoss and Terran, but I couldn't read it, really. It had some characters I was unfamiliar with, but either way, 20-ish frames should be good enough to view. Hopefully you guys aren't too off-put by that. There's nothing I can really do about it. I would show you my Windows Task Manager. The RAM is not even halfway being utilized. The usage is at like 30%, so just really don't know what Frap's problem is today. I get 250 frames whenever I stop recording, and I am recording to a separate drive, so I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, back to this battle. WhiteRa actually has the last Stalker standing. 3 kills to this Stalker's name. Quite good. Returns to that Xel'Naga Tower after a little bit of a battle. WhiteRa expanding here to his natural. BratOK being a little bit slower than that. He's got 2 barracks and a single tech lab factory out. He is getting the Blue Flame upgrade and some Hellions out, so he might be looking to murder some probes of WhiteRa's. I'm not sure if he's going to be ready for that or not. Robotics facility is being built, but not until after 2 more gateways, so 3-gate robo expand for WhiteRa, quite interesting. Normally see 1-gate robo or 3 or 4 gates total. but this time around we're going to see a nice combination of the two. These Hellions are now done, just waiting around for this blue flame to get finished. He actually is going to get a third one as well before heading over there. WhiteRa sending his Stalker back away from the Xel'Naga Tower, not sure why, maybe because it has full energy and actually full shields and HP now, so he'll send a slightly less expensive probe to be on Xel'Naga Tower duty, and right on cue these 5 Marines for BratOK show up and gun him down in cold Protoss blood. But 3 Hellions now moving across the map for BratOK. They do have their blue flame upgrade already completed. They are on the move now, these awesome little RC cars. What's going on up here? We got a couple of Marines distracting here at the Xel'Naga Tower. Hellions moving in from behind, starting to torch some stuff. They are going to be able to kite these Zealots quite well. Probably be able to kill off at least this one in the red, yes, and get some work done on this other Zealot. You might even be able to get these sentries down, as they are light as well. These blue flames doing a ton of damage here. Stalkers, they don't do quite so well, so he's going to have this last Hellion just run away, try to get up the ramp. He is going to run right past another Stalker warping in. Is he going to reach the mineral line? Yes, he does, with about 40 HP left. Needs to get just a couple more blasts on these probes to kill a lot of kills. It looks like he got 3 or 4 there before actually going down to the Stalker fire. Not really that wonderful for his investment, but if you look at units lost, he is slightly ahead on the resource count there. But army size, remaining army size, looks like WhiteRa is a little bit ahead in both supply and resource cost. BratOK getting all his upgrades now for infantry and a starport as well. Observer overhead in his base, checking out everything there is to see. Orbital command coming now for BratOK, so these players should be evening up here shortly. Let's look at the harvester count. WhiteRa way ahead, 11 harvesters ahead, now 12. That's just one benefit of having this Nexus dropped way before your opponent. You get that excellent harvester count increase. But 2 Hellions still on the field for BratOK. I'm not sure when he's going to try and gun it in there. Actually, lots more Hellions, 2 more Hellions back here as well. So maybe he'll try to do a split attack, get some damage done on both mineral lines at once. I don't know. We'll have to see what he does. Now he's starting to move with this bottom force as well. Up to the Xel'Naga Tower. Nothing there to be killed, but he will gain some vision around the area. Nothing really to see. WhiteRa is going to come check out the tower himself and see this force waiting for him, so he'll probably be doing some more warp ends. Yeah, there they go. A couple more Zealots getting primed just in case BratOK chooses to move in. A warp prism is being built by WhiteRa once again. Nice to see that play out of him. A Twilight Council being built as well. Could be seeing some blink or charge upgrades. Might even go all the way towards Dark Shrine or High Templar tech yet again. Like we saw on Xel'Naga Caverns, we saw both those techs. BratOK circling around the front of his main now. He backed away from that Xel'Naga Tower. Not sure why exactly. This observer from WhiteRa is going to get positioning on all of BratOK's units here. Going to see everything he needs to position his own army. Warp Prism on the move now with 4 Zealots tucked up inside. Just coasting around here through the map. Templar Archives being dropped now. Look at that production tab. You see a Forge come up as well. A couple of Vikings and a Hellion being made for BratOK as he adds on 1 more barracks and an engineering bay now, getting started on upgrades. And it looks like BratOK is starting to work on the gold destructible rocks as well. BratOK sees this Warp Prism flying overhead, goes ahead and pulls his SCVs very quickly. I don't think they got a single kill there. This Warp Prism does go down quite quickly, and now these 4 Zealots are here to start attacking things on the ground. They're going to try and get this SCV out of the refinery, but a Blue Flame Hellion is there to respond. These Vikings actually were what killed off of that Warp Prism. Now a couple of SCVs still left in the line of fire for this remaining Zealot. He does have 2 kills now, might even get a 3rd here on this SCV in the back. BratOK putting all of his SCVs back to work as these Blue Flame Hellions show up to save the day. So WhiteRa's little drop actually causing some chaos in BratOK's base. Nothing too amazing actually got out of there though. Let's look at units lost once again. BratOK still ahead there, but on standing army, it's hard to tell. They actually are about even up in supply now. Harvester's still way in WhiteRa's favor, so it should show BratOK with a much larger army. Just the gas investment is not quite as large as WhiteRa's, so they're nearly even. Frame rate jumped back up to 30. Whoop-de-doo. At least it's going to happen before before this big battle, I think. At least Fraps is starting to cooperate a little bit. Not sure why it was just so pathetic there through the middle of this game. But either way, Medevac being loaded up now with 3 Hellions inside. Will he pick up a 4th? No, he won't for some reason. He is going to try a 2-pronged attack. Might have to leave these Hellions in picture if BratOK starts to move to the natural. 3 Hellions are dropped. 1 blast from each of these will kill off a lot of probes. Holy moly, cannon down for WhiteRa though, and all these Stalkers already waiting nearby, able to take out those Hellions without too many losses. Harvester count still way in WhiteRa's favor, 9 more than BratOK. But all these Medivacs, Marauders, primarily Marauders and Hellions here against a mass Zealot army, but also these High Templar already built, and an Immortal in tow, lots of Stalkers available as well. Vikings land, one actually ends up on the cliff, so he lifts them all back up in the air. WhiteRa trying to cover both sides at once. He's got vision down here, BratOK has vision up there, so both players still able to shoot at each other. Good Storm right there, taking down about half health on a lot of those Marauders. Look at those health bars. I rarely ever use this health bar toggle, but this was a nice occurrence to be able to use that. Templar leading the charge here. That's kind of a bad move, but WhiteRa doesn't have charge yet for his Zealots. These landed Vikings get taken out by just a handful of Zealots, and now it looks like WhiteRa's army is going to be overpowering BratOK's. BratOK running to the top side here. Those Blue Flame Hellions not doing near as much damage as they could have, in my opinion, just through constant harassment and things. But WhiteRa sitting here with a large force, 123 supply against only 96 of BratOK, plus most of his army is up here at the top trying to get healed up by the time WhiteRa shows up at BratOK's front. Bunkers still building, a command center building here in the front as well. Zealots moving in against these Marauders. Storm goes down, but actually does a lot of damage to his own Zealots. Not the best Storm by any means. Lots of units reinforcing through the middle of the map. Look at that mini-map, you'll see a little stream of units. BratOK trying to come in now finally with these Hellions. The Hellions show up first and are going to be gunned down. Now the Zealots have charge. Good move by WhiteRa getting that upgrade. We'll see some Marauders in the back getting hacked to pieces by those Zealots, but really the big story is up here at the natural of BratOK. He does GG. WhiteRa obviously wins this series 2-0. WhiteRa was in the finals, so of course he beats BratOK here. But I hope you guys enjoyed those games anyway. Saw some nice, at least techniques out of both BratOK and WhiteRa for this TVP matchup. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys will watch some more games. I'll see you later.